This is the Vanguard Street Unification Party. We're walking the wash seal. Wow, we're the CEO, Vanguard Street Unification Party, represented by the Secretary General, the Financial Secretary, members of the Central Committee of the Indomitable Ruling Vanguard Street Unification Party. The CEO, the Center for Intellectual Exchange. So as you can see, the Secretary General is leading the charge. Secretary General is leading the charge. Secretary General is leading the charge. Few other senior committees of the Indomitable Ruling Vanguard Street Unification Party.
Generating resources for your own betterment. And it should be about bettering your own intellectual horizon. Amanda, social justice, academic freedom, away to CEIO. Reactionary tendency. Reactionary tendency. Just we are. You better watch your opposition. To represent.
We got no party. Amanda, wait. Long live the fighting spirit of massive classy, long live. Long live the undying spirit of massive classy, long live. Say you. Yeah. 52 years and forever the party will. And I take this stand to do what is normally required here at CEIO. When we have a guest, it is the responsibility of the leadership to introduce this guest to our audience. Meditation is not an issue of choice. Your membership here at CEIO puts you under the obligation to respect the rules, regulations, and the laws, as well as to respect the leaders that you give authority to govern and manage the space. So when we take the stand, it is to introduce to you, as part of our responsibility, who our guests are. It's a matter of fact, where autocracy is the order of the day. The people there protect that system of government with the tradition. They say it is their livelihood. You can find it around the world. You find it in North Korea, you find it in China, you find it in Russia. You can look around. It disguises itself as democracy. That's the justification. They say it is our kind of democracy. But in the eye of the people who brought presidential democracy, who claim to be the true owner of democracy, they say no, that there is no identity of democracy. It is not the will of the people. For so long, since 1822, Liberia suffered autocracy. That system of government was never challenged and brought to check until in the 70s. It was brought to check by a few courageous, determined, spirit fighting, and people who never had regards for their life other than the true survival of the will of the people. The people we have here today called Soup, celebrating his 52nd birthday, was one of the factors or the elements, the hollowed element that fought for what we now enjoy as a multi-party democracy. They are here today as our guests, and as part of the fact that we all are called up together in one embodiment of one spirit, fighting for the perpetuity of democracy or autocracy, I ask you to applaud them.
Don't live for this process, don't live.
Lending our platform to supplement their effort for a successful 52nd birthday. There is an occasion that SOUP uses to speak the issue of national concern. On this occasion, SOUP speaks to what SOUP considers the menaces of society, the wrongs against government, the underperformance of government, the harm and the trajectory in which the country lies. So I ask you to be patient, humble yourself, and call them all of the necessary attention that you are to accord any guest who comes here. If you disagree with what is being said, you cannot stand being with us, you can quietly walk out. We will not tolerate you becoming or exercising reactionary tendency. With that said, I say, distinguished guests, Honorable Chairman of SOUP, Honorable Chairman of SOUP, we recognize you, we recognize your powerful interaction retinue, which is deputized significantly and sufficiently by the SG Camara. We also recognize propaganda. Propaganda, right? Thank you. Where's Squad? Squad around? I don't see the female mirror. Mr. President, all of the fighting spirit here at Samu, you are welcome. Let us enjoy this day. There was some information training in the corridor that we are not aware of. You are aware. Sometimes we use you to get our talking point. Or what you're going to see here with this pen. You see the journal? Since then, we have not even taken half page. So you can fill this for us. We need an issue. Fire.
Thank you very much, Comrade Secretary General of course, the most prominent intellectual center in the Republic of Liberia, a center that have trained men, a center that have grown intellectual gurus in this country. If you check the history of the individual militants of the Indomitable Revolutionary Vanguard Students Unification Party, they were once upon a time a student of CEIO. They passed through the revolutionary wars of the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinion. Permit me at this moment, fellow Congress, permit me at this moment, fellow Congress, to extend one revolutionary aloha to the leadership of the Center for the Exchange of Intellectual Opinion. They have been very progressive in partnership in terms of elevating, advancing the philosophical Massocratic doctrine, precepts, and principles of Massocracy. We are extending one revolutionary camaraderie partnership, because with your partnership, we have adequately interacted with the Liberian masses, not only during the periods of the anniversary exercises of the Student Unification Party, but in times in times of criticality, we have always utilized this platform, this podium, and this scaffold to interact with the Liberian masses, to address and adequately address the embarrassments and the misfit of the elements of the gangster paradise of the CDC. As you may be aware, the CDC is a conglomeration of misfit and hemo garbages. And this has been the laboratory where we castrate and expose to the Liberian people the indecency in Mr. Weah, the reactionary tendencies in the sanctioned criminals, an element like McGill, another element like Betuawe, who once upon a time called himself Bakube Jr. He never knew that he was taking mentorship from a criminal in chief. Because of that criminality, today he suffers sanction. And we can tell you for free, the only reason that Mr. Weah is yet to suffer from sanction, it is because of the presidency. In the not too far distant future, the Vanguard Party will be sanctioning Mr. Weah. And we believe the authoritative gavel of the chairman of the Student Unification Party is adequate enough to sanction Mr. Weah. And when that authoritative gavel arrives to a massacrated decision, the future of Mr. Weah will be bleak in the landscape in the Republic. Until then, we want to say to you that today we have come in honor of the 52nd anniversary of the Student Unification Party. Today the Vanguard Party kickstarts our anniversary itinerary. And today we have preferred and we have chosen the Center for Exchange of Intellectual Opinion as the area to pay homage to Ideological Reflection Day, because this place is a critical terrain. This place is a traditional place. This place is where critical minds converge. This place is a place where when we come, we will have a vis-a-vis interaction with the Liberian masses. This is why the chairman of the Student Unification Party has preferred this center, because this place has produced men. This place continues to assemble men and critical minds indeed. But before we move ahead, fellow comrades and fellow Liberians, permit me to recognize the ideological stalwarts of the indomitable revolutionary Vanguard Student Unification Party. I'm talking about men who carry fire in their guns and ideas in their head. Men who carry the pins. Men who bear the scars of the participatory democracy enjoyed today. A lot of you do not understand that the Vanguard Party was very participative and involved in the democracy enjoyed today. It was on the back. It was through the sweat and blood of the stalwarts and militants of the Student Unification Party that some of you have the guts to say today that you support a criminal like Mr. Weah under the banner of the CDC. That some of you have the guts today that you are a unity partisan. And some of you have the guts today that you are from the Liberty Party. 52 years back, you have no political parties here. 52 years ago, you wouldn't have the Chewy Party. 52 years ago, you never had something called freedom of speech. 52 years ago, the University of Liberia was not open to the Liberian people and the Liberian masses. It took the revolutionary coming of the Student Unification Party to make this a reality for the Liberian masses. Just as well as we come here to celebrate the anniversary of the Student Unification Party, we have taken it in the streets. We have taken it at the center for the intellectual opinions. So you can be involved, you can participate in the exercise. Because it is for you the Vanguard Party struggle. It is for you that Wogabi Tapia died yesteryears for participatory democracy. It is for you that Mamadou Lavla died yesteryears for participatory democracy. It is for you that Alara Topa suffered the Don't Join Belayala for participatory democracy. It is for you that the militants and stalwarts of the Student Unification Party were carnage, massacre and carnage. It is for you, fellow comrades and fellow Liberians. So this is why we come here, so you can understand the role of the Student Unification Party, that the history of the Student Unification Party is not a history of popularity contest. We must provide this clarity adequately. There are too many institutions that have emerged in recent times to compete with the popularity of the Student Unification Party. The history of the Student Unification Party is a history of a participatory democracy. The history of the Student Unification Party is a history of freedom of speech. The history of the Student Unification Party is the history of opening the doors of the University of Liberia to the sons and daughters of the Republic of Liberia. The history of the Student Unification Party is not a history of popularity contests. The others will say to you, this party has existed for far too long on the university campus. We have come to compete with them. The history of the Student Unification Party is a history that continues to protect the democratic values and the democratic dignity of this republic. This is why the party has always made it her business that when democracy is abused, the party comes in defense of democracy. This is why every time there are corruption cases in this country, the Student Unification Party braved the occasion to take corruption in the face. This is why the party had no regret to champion the face of the country's struggle in demand of strategic change in the conditions and in the livelihood of the Liberian masses. Because the party was funded to ensure that the Liberian people receive economic dignity. The party was established to ensure medical dignity for the Liberian people. The party was established to ensure academic dignity for the Yaman and Adiola, who represent the business college in the Central Committee of the Student Unification Party. We recognize you all, fellow distinguished Central Committees. I may not call you due the time, but want to inform you that you are well recognized and you are accorded dignity and regard. Moving ahead, we must also recognize Comrade Adiola, distinguished Central Committant. I do not want to be here in contempt. Comrade Adiola, Judge Speaker, Elias Bow Record. We recognize you, a firebrand Central Committant of the 31st Central Committee of the Student Unification Party. In the Politburo fellow comrades, permit me to also recognize in revolutionary attendance, Comrade Adiola, former Brigadier General of the Student Unification Party, the brutal financier, the man whose service has earned the name the brutal financier in the Politburo of the Student Unification Party. Comrade Adiola Kelvin Batua. We accord you a revolutionary recognition and salute. We also want to utilize this occasion to recognize the extension, Comrade Adiola, the treasurer of the Politburo, and a central committee that represented the Science College in the 30th Central Committee of the Student Unification Party. Comrade Mama Winnie Mandela, Comrade Mama Mary Winnie Mandela Kakula, recognize the extension. We also want to utilize this occasion to recognize the extension, the Assistant Secretary General, the former propaganda chair of the Student Unification Party at the level of the 30th Central Committee. We want to recognize Comrade Adiola Lawrence Suwantua. We also want to recognize the extension, the co-chair of Governmental Affairs, Comrade Adiola Hegesin Poon. And we also want to recognize the extension of the co-chair of Party Affairs, Comrade Adiola Marcus Goodrich. We also want to utilize this occasion, even though we do not have the holy authority, and we also have not bowed the authoritative vow to do so, but in line with protocol, international and conventional practices, we will use this occasion to recognize the Baba Watafa, the Field Marshal, the Sheikh Khalif and Ayatollah, the leader of men, the Baba and the Infa of Massacracy, the leader of men, the man who championed the face of the country's struggle in this country when people thought that it was impossible to do so, led the campaign, and the Vanguard Party, through his authoritative gavel, sent a shocking wave in the spines of Mr. Weah and the CDC regime. Comrade Chairman Mustafa Nushkima Ataturk. In this life, fellow comrades, we are not the official speakers here. We are going to come to set the stage. In this light, we would like to call on to this revolutionary platform the Secretary General of Massacracy, the Secretary General of the 34th Central Committee, all right, the chairman possesses the official program sheet of today. There is a possible adjustment, and we must do that before calling the Secretary General. In this light, fellow comrades, We must give the latitude and time to the anniversary chair, who will speak to you for a few minutes, and we'll come back in our capacity as the propaganda chair to present to you the Secretary General, who will subsequently present the Baba Watafa to give the final message of the Sudan Unification Party. Then we'll move ahead. Come to anniversary chair, the Liberian masses.
Comrades, compeers, commandos of Africa, Oldest Republic, the Revolutionary Vanguard, the Unification Party, revolutionary salutations to the leadership of CEIO and all patriotic Liberian here. We want to use this medium to recognize and appreciate the 31st Police President Committee, headed by our Lord teacher and mentor, leader of men, maker of history, General Mustafa Kime Alalokane, and all police brokers and senior committees here present. On behalf of the 52nd anniversary committee of the Vanguard Unification Party, we would like to use this medium to encourage the Liberian masses that are present here and those who are not here to form part of the 52nd anniversary activities, because soup is the way in the father and mother of democracy in this country. Soup remains the only bag of hope and the only means of liberating this country from the hands of those ratty boys and girls. So comrades, as we kickstart the 52nd anniversary activities today, we would like to encourage from the church to the other activities that we do on campus. In the official Grand Parade is December 9, which will start from UL. We'll march the principal streets of Monrovia and back to UL. So in this regard, I would like to encourage you guys in front of the anniversary celebrations. We look forward to working with you in delivering the Liberation agenda. Thank you very much for being a home for the masses. We appreciate your usual cooperation and look at the struggle continue.
Reactionary Tennessee, reactionary Tennessee, Mr. Weir, Clark Weir, Timothy Weir, we are yo. The Vanguard Party will destroy the human cabbages, yo. Indefatigable, indomitable, revolutionary Vanguard Students Unification Party. Like she told you, the anniversary itinerary or the anniversary almanac kickstarts today. And we have prepared this ground because this ground is a historical ground. We prefer this ground because we believe that the party is for the masses, and we must come here to interact with you, the Liberian masses, so you can feel involved and feel the sense of participation in the activities and affairs of the Student Unification Party. We prefer this ground because the party is a party that have dedicated of time and service for and on behalf of the Liberian masses. Read the history. We do not have to come here before you think we are filibustering or operating on historical masquerade. We come here to give you historical exactitude, not historical inexactitude. History is the testimony for the role of the Student Unification Party. Only those who are ignorant to the pages of history will question the role of the Student Unification Party. This is the party who suffer for the democratic dignity the Liberian people enjoy today. We do not need you to appreciate us for that. Our role is to educate you and inform you about the reality. It doesn't matter how you feel about that. It is the fact. It is the fact. If you feel displeased about that, go ahead to make your history. Go ahead to make your history. But we can say to you, the brave history of the Student Unification Party is irreplaceable. Because nobody carried our audacity, our bravery. Nobody carried our audacity and bravery compared to the bravery, audacity, and courage and valiancy of the militants and cadres of the Student Unification Party. Because over the period, what we learn in the Student Unification Party is courage, determination at the service of the Liberian people, not the service of self. It's at the service of society, humanity. This is why as we come here, like we say, comrades and ideologues, we also refer to you reactionaries. We sympathize with your pains you feel every day because of the glorious success of the Student Unification Party. A lot of you, your witches, is the Vanguard Party to demands. But we can say to you, the more you bewitch the Student Unification Party pessimism, it is the more the Vanguard Party become glorious in your courage, determination and audaciousness. Determination and audaciousness are emphasized because we are guided by the precepts and values of the sciences of revolution. We are guided by the precepts and values of the sciences of revolution. We are told to struggle on behalf of the Liberian people. This is why nobody has to go to the office of the Student Unification Party and say, Comrade Chair, this is the issue, someone is doing this. The Vanguard Party observe the landscape, identify the contradiction, and apply the confrontational method to address the embarrassments of the state. If you are angry because the Vanguard Party is cautioning Mr. Weah for criminality, corruption, and the absolute abuse of the Constitution of the Republic, if you are angry, then you are a reactionary. If you are angry because the Vanguard Party is telling Mr. Weah to improve the economic welfare of the Liberian people, you are angry, then you are a reactionary. Then you are a crumb gatherer, you are a buccaneer, you are a misfit. You are an unnationalistic and unpatriotic element. And these are the elements we are prepared to confront. Never have we shy away from history. We are battle reactionaries. Like we will say, the Vanguard Party battle more sophisticated for her to be intimidated by a soccer dolt. By a soccer dolt who feels very good to go sit in Qatar, who know to watch games. Why the condition of the Liberian people ravish. While the Liberian people are condemned to destitution and hunger. He says in the US, that is against the traditional philosophy of Pan-African. The decision of the president to go to Qatar. We want to join the Secretary General to also recognize the chairman of the most prominent intellectual center in the Republic. If you are here, you say you are a citizen, you have no issue with the action of Mr. Weah to take national resources to Qatar for the singular purpose of giving a son clapping hands at the death service of the progressive channel of the country. You want to say you are not only a disgrace to the state, but you are a disgrace to yourself and your family. This is why we are here to say to you. As we celebrate the 52nd anniversary of the Student Unification Party, we have obligation, we have duty. And the Vanguard Party will lead this obligation. Like we said to you, the Vanguard Party will be very involved in the 2023 political process. Listening to the history of soup, Student Unification Party participated in the demands of the Chewy Party. The Student Unification Party participated in the demands of the Doe era. The Student Unification Party participated in the demands of the gangster paradise of President Taylor, in the gangster paradise of Mr. Weah, in the criminal paradise of Mr. Weah. If you think the Vanguard Party will not participate, it means you are having fun time in utopia. The party will be involved. The party will be involved. Just wake up for a slumber. The party will be participative. It will be actively involved to provide political education for the Liberian masses. The party will have numerous rallies. If you cause the party to sanction a campaign against all corrupt officials, we will do it. In protection of the democratic dignity of the state, the party will go ahead to do it. In protection of the future and destiny of the state, the party will do it with no regret. This is why, as we emphasize, as we say to you, that beginning next year, the party will be very active on the national political stage. We are coming to you to say to you, you should support item X or item this. All of the new criminals and gangsters that have injured the destiny and future of this country will name and shame them. If you cause the Vanguard Party to have community interaction with the Liberian masses, you will do so. And the campaign has already started. In the past weeks, militants and stars of the Student Unification Party were in the rural trenches of the Republic, ensuring that all of the sanctioned officials and name and shame in the rural trenches of the Republic will do it. Because we do not need your consent. Our concern is about the protection of the democratic dignity of this country. It's the protection of the future and destiny of this country. Some of you want to live with you as long as you have $5 and $10 in your pocket, everything is okay. You have a very limited mindset about the progressive trend of the homeland. That is the difference between you and the Student Unification Party. The difference between you and the Student Unification Party is that the Vanguard Party thinks about the masses of the people, while your thinking is about you and yourself. So in this life, fellow comrades, we will reduce the decimal intellectual height, go to this intellectual scaffold. The Secretary General of the Student Unification Party, who will address you by introducing the Baba Watafa and Field Marshal, the Ayatollah and Sheikh Khalif, who will give the definite position of the Student Unification Party. For this year, the Vanguard Party celebrates 52 years of existence. And you have to be around. You have to be around to appreciate the struggle credential of the Student Unification Party. You have to be around to appreciate participatory democracy. You have to be around to appreciate freedom of speech. You have to be around to appreciate the far we have come as an institution. Come, Secretary General, I present to you
in our break even. In our break even. It's not a little bit. In that break even is to Secretary General Pride.
Hey, Chairman, you have my honor.
thank you.
You say normally Subat sing Sup's oath. Sing the oath. Thank you. So the chairman will give the mandate, right? We're saying that there's a little young man they call Gavrilo Principe. I'll just compare these notes with them. There's a young man called Gavrilo Principe, or say Principe. That's your phonics.
What are you gonna get right now?
I said to him, Jusu, you are on the right trajectory. And brothers deployed. Now she comes, nothing less. Initiate militancy.
Take your time.
Right. But they've been backed upon. It's a project. I said what? But they've been backed upon. It's a project. Who fulfills that? This is the generation. Who says that? To mimic too many words beyond your control. I'm saying that she is not here to play. She is here to stay. Jusu, stay, young man. Stay. Mr. President. Wait. I mean, Mr. Chairman? Yeah. Do you introduce him? The member. Hello. Soups anniversary is real. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, please say. Mr. Chairman, please say. I initiated Gavrilo Principe.
Chairman, they are our guests.
I agree.
The break even is going too long, Chairman.
Hope so.
Apparently taking them from all
Not too true, except that the beverage.
We did it before your arrival, Chair. And it's done already.
Thank you. And that's true. Having said that,
Say again.
having said that, men are in control. CEO has their own norms and traditions that should be obeyed at all time. Having said that, Jusu, thank you. Having said that, I will say this to you. As you come this way, they know that. As you take this podium, stand, Jusu. As he come this way, stand, Jusu. Introduce the chairman where I sit. Tranquility in observation. Don't be a stupendous behavior.
Way two. appreciate to the militants, the ideologues of lungs of having progressive, yet Marxist, Leninist, Pan-Africanist institution. We want to state here categorically today, the Revolutionary Unification Party is an institution that was founded in the folklore, in a tradition of a soldier from Kwame Nkrumah, an institution greatly inspired by the militant leader in Ahmed Sékou Touré of the Parti Démocratique du Guinea, the trade unionist, an institution inspired by Sam Droma, the man for Swapo, or the man of Swapo. An institution inspired by the militant leader of the armed wing of the ANC, Nkunto Waswizi, the spirit of the nation, the later secretary general of the Communist Party of South Africa, peace to the artist Chris Honey. An institution founded in the folklore, in the ideological tradition of Joe Slovo, former chairperson emeritus of the South African Communist Party, a man who wrote While Socialism. Comrades, we knew that the rain we are falling today before we appear at people to make them understand where we stand on the debate of this country. How does the Heavenly Father clean the path for these people to come in? Is to send the rain which washes away the footsteps of all the reactionaries who have been at seal of late, so that the Revolutionary Student Unification Party, a sacred institution that has struggled for the restoration of the dignity of the people of this country, honorably being dealt even the ultimate price of the lives of the militants of this party. Comrades, this country of Edward Wilmot Bladen still glimmers hope. This country of Alexander Kumia still glimmers hope. It makes despair and discontent in the faces of our people. Hey, this is why we are inspired. We ask nobody for any material reward for the struggle that we undertake. Our consciences as young people of this country tear us that it is moral, not just moral, but yet just and honorable to struggle for the people. We've come far. We've come far. While we're in flight, courage. Witness the advent of the co-chair for governmental affairs of the Student Unification Party. From Hagen C. Quinn, David Quinn, you have our honor. Courage. After 175 years, our society doesn't know dignity. The masses of the Liberian people, you don't know what is decency. You don't know what is quality living standard. When we stay here, we pass around some of us, even at this moment, we still carry the mindset that Liberia is okay and there's nothing wrong with the affairs of the state. Even left them as a young person, from a reading of politics, sociology, economics and philosophy, logic, nowhere in the world, and in fact international relations and diplomacy, nowhere in the world I have seen another government offer debts or what you call tamado to another government. That's just demonstrate to you, comrades, how the foreign policy and diplomacy of the Liberian society has been reduced to the backs. That tells you that the elements who preside over the affairs of this country lack the well-wisdom and the technical know-how, the intellectual inclination and perspicacity of what international 16 is, or how international diplomacy works, or how the international politics is conducted. Never again we want to say to you must we take as in an elementary form fresh grade students. We give them logarithm to solve. We hope and pray. We hope and pray that you can start to make the rational decision. The transformation of the society. It lies on the back of every one of us. The decision you make reflect the quality of human being you are. If the last 5 years in this country has created prosperity and wealth, has the economy of the society, been prepared, along the line of poverty and equanimity, a one that creates job opportunity and prosperity for our people. If that has happened, found for you. If that has happened and you are convinced it happened, that's for you. But insofar we still see despair on the face of the Liberian people. Insofar young babies are raped in the society and no proper investigation is done into these matters to deal with these root causes, these problems. These problems pose serious threat to our democracy. For the fact that you have a madam who presides over the NDC of this country, who is a clear partisan, who doesn't want to do the right thing and honorably work in the service of the Liberian people. There is a reason why we must persistently speak in this country and stand up. The bedrusting of the democracy of the society, the degeneration of the state into chaos and tatters will only happen if the conscious intelligence of the society sit and don't do anything about this what you call a minor contradiction or major contradiction. For those of us who have read Mao and his writings on contradiction, hey, minor contradiction is a major contradiction, because if minor contradictions accumulate to a greater extent, they turn into major contradiction, and it is difficult to deal with major contradiction. And sometimes that's why you see things, the balloon, and it explode beyond man's imagination and man's limit. Comrades, we've come today not to do so many talks, and we don't want to do so many talks. We have come to introduce the chairman. But I want to say this. And Brother Slover has had a problem with us over the time where we have not been appearing at CEO. The revolution is one of our dears. The propaganda chairperson is the man responsible to do talking in this party. He's the man responsible for political intellectual warfareism. Where we sit in the secretary of the Student Unification Party, we strategize, we plan, we write, we analyze and critique. That is our role. So, we have been organizing and planning new programs. When we told you that the Face the Country campaign initiated by the 31st Politburo, concomitant the Central Committee and 31st General Congress of the all-powerful revolutionary Student Unification Party, all headed by Chairman Mustafa Kane, it's a campaign that will usher these gangsters and misfits who are presiding over the public administration of the Liberian society out of governance in this country. He felt it was a joke. Face the country, perhaps it may have started on July 26th and continued on August 24th. There are more programs coming. 2023 will be an interesting year in this country. We will take austerity at the doorstep of those who bastardize the state for the personal aggrandizement. And let me say this. If you feel to yourself that for the last 5 years, WEF or the CDC Act delivered on its manifesto or agenda for transformation, the PADP, we challenge you for intellectual debate. Slobber, Honorable Secretary General, please do that for us. Anybody in this gallery or even opposite Lone Star that have new Secretary General, they will do what the new Secretary General can embrace the challenge. You have new UB chairman.
Oh, while the chairman stay coming and low a flight, that's more gigantic. It's more gigantic. I'm communicating now. SG.
Jay, do that, Jay, it will be one of the most memorable things.
Now a communication.
And you also will ever witness here.
Hello. So CC headquarters first. Come on.
That is it.
Hello. Alright. And that communication goes now.
Shaman.
Yeah, that's student behavior. So wait and long other student behaviors. Stay quiet.
Little man with little understanding of history. Little man with short-sighted understanding of nature and how it works. A man approach to nature. Little man understanding of society and philosophy. Little man understanding of sociology. And little man understanding of how or why men behave the way they behave. Will make people to understand or to believe that the Revolutionary Student Unification Party is just a student-based institution. Let me say something to you. Long ago, from the formation of this party, the politics of the Revolutionary Student Unification Party long ago transcended beyond the walls, the hollow walls of the University of Liberia. And that is the reason why, Thomas, when it was time to offer our sweat and tears and blood in the democratic, or if you like, the democratization process of the society, we were ever waiting to pay the ultimate and supreme price. And that is why, when no one dared challenge the status quo of the CDC gangsterism, when we spoke about census in this country, you took it to be fun. We told you that Mr. Smith did not have what it takes to preserve our legends. That he was a simple and common thief, a man who did not understand the tempo, but who was poised with the enthusiasm to teach us about the resources of the people of this country. You did not listen to us. And when the time came, the boss decided to assemble. You saw it for yourself. When we told you that it was necessary to implement the AICC report of 2022 and take to tax all those who've been indicted by the AICC, you did not take it seriously. It was a mere fun to you. You said, also, hey, comics. When we speak in this country, the Revolutionary Vanguard Party doesn't speak as a student-based institution. We speak as a national revolutionary movement.
Thank you. In conclusion,
National revolutionary movement that persistently taking on regimes, not just unique to the misfits in we are. It's avalanche of tabernacle praise singers, not the bruisers, the janjarui ragamuffins, these simpleton tongues who have turned the society into a world of burning temple. The Liberian society is a door-eat-door society. The president is a reckless freak. He has abandoned his responsibility to the state. How dare you go to Qatar playing football for self and personal amusement, and you say you are winning support? Hey, long ago, Mr. Weah told us that he went France. And Macron gave him
Don't do it. Oh, well. Hello, don't do it. Hold my hand. Hello, gentlemen. Hello. Don't do this. Don't do this. Akame. Elia, sit down. How much, man? Please sit. How much, man? Mr. Chairman? Thank you. Yaji, you are proceeding very well. Thank you. Except that CEO disembarks by 5 o'clock. I'm not too acquainted with your protocols as you come from CEO, from Su to CEO. When you come to CEO and you are called to introduce your leader, introduce Rumble as he has done, having rumbled, let him talk, they will move out. He's not really demeaning, but he's straight to the real issue. The mic is back to you, SG.
5 years today. 5 years today. The deliverance or the promise made by this regime to the Liberian people, and within the space of 3 years, they will have created jobs and alleviated 1 million persons, 1 million Liberian people out of poverty. And I do stand here today with the conviction and with the belief. It is not just self-belief, but a belief that every one of us here share. That the CDC regime has debts to do that.
So, SG, you can fire to the extent of tiredness. But to the extent you deem prudent to walk in the chairman. This day is a day for intellectual retrospection. It's a day we consider as a day for historical reawakening of the spirit.
Comments.
It's a day for reawakening. It's a day for reawakening the fighting spirit, sustaining the democracy of this country. Rather than lie in their grave, we must waste the necessary praises from them posthumously for the effort they made in making us to enjoy what we enjoy.
Comments.
Before you proceed, let me say the chairman is a custodian of all tradition here at CEO. His statement stands as the law. But what we are saying, just share idea, the chairman myself, the chairman will throw in, we can manage it until we go 7 o'clock. We like the forum. If people in the audience feel tired, they won't go in the war. We will let the brother who sit there, follow him, observe everything. So energy, fire. Come back.
When we signed up for the task of involving ourselves in the intellectual vocation, intellectualism, commerce, is a vocation. And somebody will say to us, one of our greatest leaders and teachers, that consciousness building is not an art of mechanical improvisation. Comrades, it is a discipline to decipher the sciences, to read history, place history within the context of humanity. It's to read sociology and understand the behavioral pattern of man and its approach to his environment. It's a temple a tempo of cross-examination, sometimes robustly, critically, and if like aggressively. But what stinks is the cross-examination and cross-exchange of ideas within the marketplace of intellectualism. How ideas are the weapons we use to decapitate the elements of reactions. Because these people are short-sighted. Because these people do not understand what it takes to be an intellectual. And I want to reiterate our stance here. Since we became Secretary General of the Student Unification Party, like 16 of them asked this forum to give us the space. And Brother Dax is always waiting. We've challenged people here. When it was on the road for a debate, we told Mr. Tue to tax in this country. And nothing was wrong. Hey, where we sit, we read our society. We understand the pattern of our environment. And sometimes when we sit, we have conversation and we speak to issues. We don't just speak because we want to speak. We don't just talk because we want to talk. Because we understand that these things that we talk about, if care is not taken today, tomorrow, the repercussions are deadly, very deadly. Mr. Tue said the dynasty roll form. A few days ago, they say he was entrapped into motor accident. 28 million national road fund. That alone will have complemented the effort of building the road leading to Lofa. But because it was squandered, because it was mismanaged and misappropriated, so today, it is my business to tell Mr. Tue sorry. Hey, we are human beings. We share sorrow. But when your advisor mind said the hole that you dig into tomorrow becomes a grave, and he doesn't listen, if that man falls now in a hole tomorrow, it becomes a grave. We share our empathy. But one thing we can tell you, our interest is that there should be forensic investigation into that matter. Because there is no way you will make me to be convinced, or any rational being in the society, that Mr. Tue was involved into a motorcade accident and the driver who was riding the car did not have severe injury. But the man who was cruising behind with his wife, got badly injured. What myth? Let me say something to you. Mr. Weah gave up on the country. He gave up on the country. So the president leaves this country, he goes out. The man's over the stress. That's the reason why you don't hold him responsible for playing football and amusing himself in Qatar. The man doesn't able to tax. He does not able to take care of the tax of this country. He brought in too much. So Mr. Tue, who has been purporting to be the intellectual Gagantuan, they throw the entire lot of the country on him. The debate of the economy, the debate of the agricultural sector, the debate of the transport sector, they throw everything on him. You work for him, my man. Getting over the day. You are over the stressing. The whole entire accident of Mr. Tue was a tirade. They themselves smash our car. I can say it anywhere. How come? So with the exception of Mr. Tue and Webb, the other people who were in the car, what's the status? So the Webb, into a Webb, I will go to look out to deliver a convocation speech. And upon our return, while we are en route, we'll do something. Hey, twice on Dinox at stealing and falsehood machination. That is 12 for you. So the driver who dragged or who dragged from Mr. Tue, that driver life is not meaningful. Mr. Tue and his wife can be flown out of the country today to Turkey for medication. It doesn't matter to you because that man is not your relative. You don't know him. His life is worthless. Hey, No one person's life is meaningful and worth it than anybody's life in this country. The day we decide to cultivate this sense of mentality is the day that we reach to the point of saying that our society will be on the course of transformation, social transformation. Comrades, here's a situation. The man does it. The man will say, "Well, let's smash a car. We'll go talking. We'll be there. We'll lead our country with them." So, in the absence of Mr. Tue, who pontificates to be the intellectual guru of the CDC and Mastimo, who understand the tempo of public administration and the affairs of this country, who runs the affairs of the society, who is insurrection. You want to call it gangster from opposite looks and the UN Hawks? The newly elected chap of the Secretary General of the Congress for Democratic Change. I don't know. It will be a jester for a week. It will be a jester for a week, comrade. We're welcoming. We're welcoming to the consultative secretary of intellectuals in this country. I read a man's last two writings of late. The grammar tells you a lot. The grammar tells you a lot. But again, coming, we can say all in all, folks, we believe in policy and debate. And that is the reason why we told the motivating board and the Secretary General of this institution, may we have a conversation with brothers who have opposing view to our ideological disposition. In Mark says, one for our thesis, and those who stay in contrast to our ideas of our antithesis. The conversation that we have, the logic that stands to be the logic of the day, becomes the antithesis, the end result of the intellectual chemistry. That's who we are. We will never give up on this country. You can give up. We will never give up on this country. You posted that, Mr. We are taught free education at the University of Liberia. And these are the things, the elements who don't understand what is education. Education is in the context of development, and education is in the context of the economics. Understanding it as a commodity. It doesn't have direct substitution. It doesn't have replacement. Latin so the battery, when so the battery get cold, you bring the other green battery called noble battery. No. Comics. It is a better elastic commodity. It only appreciates. What we say? Appreciates. And attempt for education to depreciate. You get nonsense. So the university is not able to pay or staff instructors and lecturers. The university is in ruin and tax today. Because we have made a knee-jerk and unscientific policy that was not studied thoroughly and critiqued. Courage. 52 years today, we've come at this noble institution. I watched a video of late. I think it was Comrade Lee. Comrade Lee was here. He was making, you know, good revelations. Good revelations. And I'm happy to see Liberian people buying and to make their children happy. Oh, but what is it today? Tell me the situation. So these days, our parents tend to be, or we the parents, we tend to be more intellectual to get justification because we don't need the happiness of our children. We did not create a situation. We did not create a situation. We are made to believe that things are not okay in the society. Fine. We are made to believe that this regime, that the economy is things are changing, the global politics and what we know. And I heard somebody gave me a vulgar interpretation of the ripple effect of the Russian-Ukrainian situation on Liberia. Economies that have stood to be progressive, economies that have evolved, economies that are stable, economies that are very strategic, know how to deal with these situations. Unlike you, there's the only country I've come to know in my life that when I make projects, they say this year will have 3% growth, but that 3% growth will be on the back of the money sector of the society. The more investment that will be made, and somebody said that is a growth. And the happy Mr. Trump makes you to believe that he has grown the Liberian economy by 3%. Okay, fine. You say he took inflation from double digit bird to single digit. Okay, let's come to see economics is a direct interaction of the people with society. So when you brought inflation to 8%, what's the current rate? The current rate is 154, 155. When you change your money, how many items you buy with $5? Because the decrease in the inflation in number, as we know it, should reflect in the material existence of the economy. If there's not happening, then we ask the question, so what kind of decrement is this? But we know Bretton Woods institutions, the OECD, the IMF, and the World Bank. And I've argued this. You can go and read it. We can discuss it here. I've not seen a single society that World Bank in the third world has transformed, or OECD institution, or the Bretton Woods institution. I've not seen a single country, whether it is in Latin America that we call South America, whether it is here in the global south, we have not seen a single society whose economy has been repaired and put on course by the prescription and the austerity measures of the IMF and the World Bank. These people lending money with high interest rate. When we tell people to read Joseph Pombe Magufuli, we don't just tell you to read Joseph Magufuli to understand that he was Secretary General of the Chama Mapinduzi Party. He was a Pan-Africanist. No! We tell you to read Magufuli on his strategies, on his policy, on his devices that he used to retool the economy of Tanzania. This is what we tell you to read, not just to know the name Magufuli. You have it. The raw material resources are here. Somebody say the gangster institution in the CDC is a revolutionary institution. And I asked this brother of mine, I said, comrade, so what is your philosophy? Can you tell me? So, can you tell me? Tell me your philosophy, tell me what you believe in. Tell me the inspiration that drives you along this political sojourn. Tell me. And they didn't say anything. Now listen to the other man yesterday. The other man said, oh, the city believes in massive crossing. Stolen legacy. So why? And we don't believe them. We as an institution too, we've grown men. And some of these elements, when they leave the university, they become problem. They become problem. But again and again, like all generation in historical memory have done before us. We have attacks. Where we say today, we will frown at injustice. Where we say today, we will speak to issues that affect the livelihood of our people. Where we say today, let all those before us will stand in defense of the democratic tenets and values of this society. Where we say today, and we owe it to ourselves, not just to ourselves, our consciences, not just to our consciences, but the masses of the Liberian people. We ask nobody. And that is the reason why when we take on a regime, we take on the aggressiveness sometimes. Because we don't engage buzzards. You don't engage buzzards in peaceful disposition. No. We take them intellectually on a hostile front. This is what we do. This is what we do. When we meet the civilized compatriots, even though they differ with us in ideas, we have civilized conversation with them. We are trained to respond to these issues. That's why the student education party dominance remains undisputed in this country. An institution with impeccable character of struggle in this country. Correct. It has been 52 years. And sometimes you must sit and ask yourself, what has kept this institution moving? We were side with no regime. We were side with no regime. And where we sit, anything that resembles the CDC, we will aggressively approach it. Now wrote to Oxney's 18th premiere of Louis Bonaparte, 1848, analyzing the Paris Commune. The first attempt we did not come to this earth to be revolutionaries. And I can say this, but the environment that we live in, what we have come in contact with, what we have read, and the contradictions we have seen. We say, no, this cannot be this. This must be this. And that is why we do it. You see young militants in khaki, they sacrifice their lives. They sacrifice their education. They sacrifice their all throughout in history. Whether it is Lenin that we have come to know, Lenin was writing what needs to be done. Lenin was writing the state and revolution. Lenin was writing what we call left-wing communism, infantile disorder. Lenin was in his 20s. The university students, that the situation at the University of Liberia is a one that doesn't match current reality of the world. There's a need that we advocate transformation in facility, transformation in the learning environment of the society. That is a premier institution of higher learning in this country. For God's sake, the State Road University. Somebody say, Mr. Weir did not create these situations. But what mantra you campaigned to the masses of the Liberian people on? Whether it was some resemblance of things. Everything that we do in this country comics. None of us here, maybe tomorrow we will have an intention to become people to contest for positions. But everything that we do here is in the interest of the very regime. Because, for example, when we told Mr. Weir, it was imperative and very prudent that you sack Mr. Wilmer Smith and Legends. Did we lie? No, let me be honest with ourselves. Did we lie? Were we doing it out of filibustering? No. We read report. Mr. Smith was once appointed Secretary General of the Student Education Party. I read his report from the AICC. I saw his misdemeanors and misgivings. I saw He's conniving and colluding with certain elements to bastardize state resources. Unapologetically, we expel him from the veteran community of the Student Unification Party. And that decision today, I have no regret. It is not me, but the Central Committee and the Politburo, who is as the decision-making organs of the institution, unanimously voted for him to be expelled from the ranks and file of the Revolutionary Student Unification Party. Oh yes, we told Mr. Weir that Wilmer Smith needs to be relieved. Let me go and face prosecution. So today is Mr. Weir telling us that having sacked Mr. Wilmer Smith, he won't be subjected to investigation because the reports are there. The reports are there. Some of you are happy with it. You don't know these things. The morning story by Mr. Smith who have been used. The sensor draft that we see people playing with here is a very significant instrument that informs national development. It gives you the data about the issue of the statistics of the unemployment rate compared to the employed. It tells you how many persons in this country, the population that is literate or illiterate. It gives you a clear definition of the problems, the real problems of the society. For example, Mr. Weir Gregory used to have 10,000 persons in the last census. Now they have 50,000 or 100,000 persons at the end of the conduct of this census. It tells Mr. Weir or inform the national government that if Gregory had one school, high school, there's a need that you build one more high school to complement the efforts of education in that place. There's a need that you decentralize economic activities there. There's a need that you take hospitals. There's a need that you build roads. Or I went great crew. I was passing through Southtown. I saw one coming. I know everybody coming sometimes. Yeah, so the child. The man saw the land cruiser coming. The man throwing from the land cruiser, the man started standing waving. And I said, there's a situation, perhaps this man will never see Satan until he dies. No, it's funny. But that man has God-given potential in him. We can utilize the potential of that man if opportunity is given him to move on with his life, to develop himself. Utilize the potential and energy in the transformational endeavors of this country. But sometimes these things, they just sound to you so wild, you know. They sound to you. But again, this is our country. To those who show solidarity our way in the struggle endeavors that we are involved with, say kumbaya to you when you have our grace. You have our honor. Even the ones who do not understand what we are saying today, it is our responsibility to keep knocking on the heads of those who are yet to understand. Stopeka Mago, one of the founders of Pan-African intellectuals. Oh yes, he used to be called Kwame Ture at another day of his life. Stopeka Mago said to us in one of his lecture series on the African question of dealing with the issue of honor development of people consciously. He said it is the responsibility of the conscious to make the unconscious conscious. We must keep knocking on the heads of our brothers and sisters. Keep giving them reason. Keep giving them reasons. Somebody said they're presiding over the city against city tax. That whole thing is a criminal scheme. Because come to think about it, you collect city tax, then city tax doesn't go to the consolidated account of the government. It is from the consolidated account of the government that the national budget is prepared. It is based on the money, based on that instrument that the government is informed how much money needs to be placed in agriculture, education, and what have you. This is a situation So Mr. Cody is here to tell us why we are collecting certain tax. Because when you read the national budget, we always giving budgetary allotment. So why is the city tax used for? Nobody has responsibility or the right to collect money outside of the consolidated account of this government or any government in this country. As per the Constitution, read your fiscal policy instruments, read your financial laws. These things are there, they are law. So can't let me understand that in the last budget, I think they gave Cody 5 million to operate the affairs of the MCC. 5 million from the consolidated account as budgetary allotment for the functions of the MCC. So the city tax that you're collecting, how it is used. How it is used. But let me be honest now, you don't ask the question because some of these things they seem to be complicated for you. Let me be honest. We ask the man is there to tell us. Because there should be justification. You take money from the Liberian people through taxes. You are accountable to them. It is not your day. Nobody uses the state as a fair dumb. But again, these things we are pleased with them. We seem not to have any issue with them. But there is a situation. Say the tax, if the justification will mean to pay, you can never pay people on your own as MCC. You conduct your payroll, you conduct your wage, the list of your workers and employees. You send it to the national government. It is the Ministry of Finance that got the responsibility to disburse resources. Not Koji. Not Koji. So, what's the rationale behind city tax? What has changed in the city for the last 5 years? Isn't Wallace State deplorable or more deplorable than it used to be some years back? Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. What has changed in the city? What has changed? We must be very honest with ourselves. Comrades. What has changed? And the brother needs to answer this question. What you do with the city tax that is collected on the tears of blood in the backs of the Liberian people, it's not your personal money. So as for accountability, some elements then say, oh, the boss, they just talk. The only time we seem to be serious in this country when we are directly affected with the situation, when we see our families and relatives and friends involved in these tragedies. We need to be honest with ourselves. We've come a very long way as a country and people. No defined civilization and culture. No defined civilization and culture. We ask national government question because they are the ones who have been entrusted with the confidence and the lots of the Liberian people. Hearing the last time somebody asked me, I said, oh, comrades, you don't talk about opposition. I said, these people are insignificant, you know. We don't struggle for Mr. Baga to be president. If Mr. Baga wants to be president, it is a responsibility to go to the mass of the Liberian people. Come here and see you. And he said, he can arrest, disciple here to the conscious men and women here. This is why we are interested in. If Mr. Kumi wants to be president, he do it by himself. Not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to struggle for the mass of the Liberian people, not a political elite or a political class. All the political parties in this country that I've come to know, the ones that are dominant within the politics of this country, are all neoliberal institutions, right-wing conservative institutions. These people stay in contrast to our belief system of politics, you know. us here, we can say, we can declare here, we are socialists. We are advocates. We are anti-capitalists. We advocate the centralization of the means and production of the society. We are against privatization. So we cannot be in a struggle endeavor and we also be a capitalist who have come from Coca-Cola to be president yet. Two, now, Mr. President, you must go to the people in the slum communities. This is what we believe in. Where they were up to today's day, they've been here. We took on tax of this government, what they could say. See them, you don't even have the balls. You allow the people to debase you. You advocate that the elements in the regime are debased ideologically. They are barring. And you are sophisticated. But you allow the men to debase you and take it from the policy debate. I can see somebody on social media like me doing Ronaldo and Messi debate. See that the people that want to transform country here. And it's good of one sport, I'm not against Ronaldo. In fact, I'm one of the biggest fans of Ronaldo. And people, I love Messi as well. But what we are saying, if you want to fight for your people and country, it's a task that you must be devoted and committed to. Everybody has the era in this country and in life. We've chosen to struggle to be radical militants. When you call us here to talk about the state, to discuss economics, to discuss public administration, to discuss anything that is relevant to the state, it is transformation and progress. And when we fail in that regard, you can question us. You know, you question us. You say, well, you're in this endeavor, you are in this vocation. This is why you are devoted yourself to. But you don't come in and discuss for one and talk for what they are failing, get issue with me. I'm going to try to say to you that we must define our roles. Define our roles in the society. The Revolutionary Unification Party has been here and we will continue to be here.